Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oops. Just gonna wait for staff to pour in.
Hello.
Yeah, nothing has been said MBF. We're just waiting for staff here. Hello.
Hiya.
Okay, so I have 3 absentee ballots, so I'm just counting here. I think that's just enough.
We have, MBF Zooj in the audience as well.
Yeah, the thing is, MBF can only listen, not speak. But well, they're here. Do we just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 6, 7. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. All right, let's get started.
Maybe I say that he can type as well.
Yeah, okay. All right, so everyone, welcome to the September 2025 General Staff Meeting. This one is a little bit meaty, so let's try to get through it here. First off, we need to choose the GSM location. Let me get the spinning wheels up on my stream. Let me see if I can stream it here. Boop. All right, and here we go.
Also, I'll get the minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, the wheel has chosen Bakersville, Grand Central, Fred isn't here, so we're just gonna have to go there somehow.
I know roughly where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need to ride Fred rail.
Yeah.
It should be easy to find. It's grand and it's central.
See, luckily I have my mini-map.
It's just not very central.
Okay, I'm at this side. Alright, teleport to me, everyone.
Oh, is it? Yep. This center area is a pretty good spot for you guys to do your shenanigans. So, again, please respect Fred's build here. But
Yep, also put in the transcription bot for Frozen.
oh yeah, I forgot that. Oh, is it on right now?
It is, yes.
Okay, good.
We are gathering at Bakersville Grand Central.
Okay, so that's done. Okay, so let's go on to conductor applicants. We have 3 this meeting. The 3 being Neva the Cat, Simon Scholar, and Mellow Queen. I'm going to randomize the list of people of staff voting here. And the first one, so we are voting on Neva the Cat first. The first staff to vote is UAP.
Okay. So for Never,
For Neva the Cat.
yes, I'm going to vote neutral.
Okay, AP votes neutral there. Next is Foot. Foot is voting neutral. Skelly, I have not received an absentee ballot, so I think we're going to put him as do not vote there. Zooj. Zooj is voting for. MBF. MBF is voting for. Needon I did not receive an absentee ballot, so did not vote. Missa? Was Missa? I saw Missa around. Oh yeah, Missa is voting neutral. HVT has submitted an absentee ballot. He is voting for Neva. Ginty has submitted an absentee ballot. He is voting for Neva. Next is DNA.
F4.
DNA is voting for Vicky.
Neutral.
Vicky's voting neutral. Alpha. Alpha. Alpha, is he here? He's in the Discord. How do we get Alpha's attention here? Because he's in the Discord, he's in the meeting, but he's not on in-game.
You announce a sleep format. I'll show right now. I don't actually know.
Oh, you might have disconnected. Okay, we're going to leave that blank for now, and we'll come back to it. Next is Sesh. Did not receive an absentee ballot, so you can put Sesh as did not vote. 7 submitted an absentee ballot, voted for. Frozen. Oh. I think the transcription bot's taking a little time to catch up here. Frozen is voting for. I am going to be voting for. And then finally, Polo, who is not here and did not submit an absentee ballot, so did not vote. Alpha, can someone double check? Alpha was here, right? I wasn't seeing things.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he might have got disconnected or something because he's not here. I turned the volume off of my Minecraft. Okay, so I guess we could put Alphas did not vote. So I got 0 vote there.
Okay, let me double check to see if the votes are right. I think they are, but I kind of tapped out for just a second.
It looks like 8-4, 4 neutral, 5 did not vote. Okay. I'll read the absentee ballots here. So HVT said, friendly enough and seems to want to help out. Personally, haven't had many interactions with them, but from what I can observe, they function well with the community. GT said, a wonderful player to work with, is very connected to the community, is very community-minded, would make an excellent conductor. And 70 has said, knows basic world edit, more importantly, willing to learn. Also very mature from my experience. I'll open the floor to comments from either people voting neutral or for here.
Basically, I can't personally vouch for Neva, so I don't really oppose Neva at all. I just can't personally vouch for him.
I think they're the active player. They're quite friendly. I think when I've interacted with them in the game, they seem nice and responsible, which is enough for me to vote for in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, my neutral vote is mostly because I don't have much in terms of memory of Never, but I mean, I don't think it'll make much of a difference, but I might switch to 4. Consider it. Yes, that's me switching the vote to 4.
Okay, AP is switching.
Okay, so we got AP. Yep.
AP is switching to 4, not. I do see Frozen typing, so you might have something to say, maybe. Frozen says, agreed. Haven't heard any kind of conflict or issues with them involved. Okay. Okay, so vote stands at 9-4, 3 neutral. Last call for any comments or anything people want to bring up here. Otherwise, this is going to look like a promotion. So based on that vote, Neva the Cat is promoted to conductor on a vote of 9-3. Okay. Next person is someone that probably doesn't need introduction because they actually thought up the conductor rank. It's Simon Scholar. So I'm going to randomize the list again. And first one to vote on Simon Scholar is Zooge. Zooge is voting for. Next is Foot. Foot is voting for. I'm going to vote for. Needon did not vote, and Pola did not vote. Vicky.
This will not surprise you at all. I'm voting for.
Vicky's voting for. AP.
Completely and utterly 4.
Okay. Alpha did not vote. Frozen. Frozen, why is this up for a vote for? Okay. Technically, we have to follow procedure here, so we are following procedure. MBF is next. MBF's voting for. Skelly did not vote. Sesh did not vote. 70 submitted an absentee ballot of 4. HVT, absentee ballot of 4. Missa did not vote. Jinty absentee ballot of 4, and finally DNA.
Yes, completely, absolutely, unequivocally for.
Oh, and Missa also voted 4. Yeah, so
Okay, so 12-0-0, and then 5 did not vote.
yeah, just to be clear, like I think it's still worth doing this vote just in the off chance maybe Simon turned. Maybe some people had concerns with Simon after he came back or something. You know, you never know. But based on this, it seems like a like a obvious sort of thing that there's no issues here.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen Simon a lot on the server recently, but that's probably a time zone thing because the playtime checks out.
Do we not have a vote for Missa?
Missa voted 4. Yeah. I think I misspoke there. Yeah, I skipped Missa. Sorry.
I just like my brain went 5 did not vote, so the count's the same.
Okay. Last call for comments here. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead with this. Okay, Simon Scholar is promoted to conductor. Wowie. All right, our third conductor is Mellow Queen, our third and final conductor. Randomizing the list again. First person to vote is AP.
Again? 4.
That's randomness for you. Okay, yeah. Next is 7D, who voted 4. So I'm just looking here. Next is MBF. MBF's voting
MBF's 4?
Yep. Next is Zooj. Zooj is voting 4. DNA.
4.
4. And Polo did not vote. Next is Frozen. Frozen is voting 4. Next is Missa. This is voting 4. Alpha did not vote. Next is Foot. Foot is voted 4 as in a number. Vicky?
4.
Vicky's voting 4. I'm next. I'm voting 4. Sesh did not vote. Skelly did not vote. Needham did not vote. Where the hell are these guys? Next is Jinty, who submitted an absentee ballot of 4. And finally, HVT, who submitted an absentee ballot of 4.
Well, considering I think we're all on the same page here. Mellow Queen, I like Mellow Queen. Mellow Queen's very cool, very friendly. Would make a good duck.
To answer Danny's question, we're doing conductor applicants first. Moderator noms are coming up soon.
I haven't actually interacted with Mellow much in game, but I've heard good things about them from other people, and generally, for other people to be saying good things about someone does mean they're usually quite a positive influence on the community. So, that's enough for a 4 from me.
Okay, it seems unanimous, at least with the people voting here. So, and a last call for final comments. Hearing none, then we are going to promote Mellow Queen to conductor. So congratulations. All right. Now it's time for, we do have one moderator candidate at this meeting. It's been a while since we've had one.
Yeah, when's our most recent one? MBF, I think.
My memory is... It must have been maybe less than a year ago, but definitely quite a while ago.
Oh, Jinty. That is absolutely right. Jinty is the most recent mod.
Yeah. Okay. So the moderator candidate has Moraine. They have been nominated by Ginty, Skelly, and Athena. So we're going to vote now on this. Oh, okay. And the first person to vote here is Zooj. Again. Profound, yes. I'm trying to take that as a 4, just to be very clear here. Okay, Zooj is voting 4. Next is MBF. MBF is voting 4. DNA?
4.
DNA is voting 4. Polo did not vote. Needon did not vote. Next is Frozen. Frozen is voting 4. Next is Vicky.
I'll be voting for.
Okay. I am next. I'm going to vote neutral. Next is Sesh Penguin, who did not vote. Alpha did not vote. Next is Missa. Missa's voting 4. Okay, here we go. So next is HVT. He has submitted absentee ballot of against. I will provide some explanation for that in a sec. Next is Skelly, who did not vote. Next is AP.
4.
AP is voting 4. 7D has provided an absentee ballot of 4. Ginty has submitted an absentee ballot. Well, he nominated, so I think it's an automatic 4 there. So, yeah. And finally, it's Foot. Foot is voting 4. Okay, so I think I need to explain the situation. However, so HVT has voted. I'll read what HVT has said in the ballot, so you get some context here. HVT said, due to a fairly recent argument misunderstanding that was between us, I will not be able to vote for at this time. I don't really want to elaborate further, as it was detrimental to my emotional state at the time. The argument was eventually sorted out, and we are not on bad terms anymore. So, I talked to HVT. It sounds like he does not want to. He personally doesn't want to share this information, but I did tell him that for the sake of transparency, I think this should be told. I would probably go and tell everyone what exactly happened, because I was actually directly involved with this. So, from my understanding, HVT and Moraine had some sort of personal conflict just between the two of them. Moraine, I believe, brought this concern up to at least me and the admins, if I recall correctly. Basically, as you know, HVT tends to be very selective about which stations he allows Blue Rail service to, and Moraine, through some rumors or some information, got the impression that they were skipping their towns, or that HVT was skipping their towns or being vindictive in some way. So I had both of them talk it out. In the end, I think Moraine did apologize for that. Did find out that once HVT showed hard evidence that no, he wasn't, discriminating against Moraine in that sense, then Moraine realized their mistake and apologized to HVT. However, at the same time, at least this is my own observation, and HVT does would admit this himself, that he's not the best at communicating his intentions when it comes to Blue Rail expansion or clarifying what he wants to do. So I did tell HVT that, because he's not communicating well, it sort of opens increases the chance that that people will start speculating or, putting misinformation about what he's intending. So if he was able to communicate this clearly, then that would shut that down. So, yeah. So I hope I might be missing some details, but I'm trying to. Yeah, this is the best I think I can try to explain this. I would have hoped that HVT was here to explain it directly. Moraine, if you want, you can explain your side of the story too. If I've missed anything here, but yeah, that is the situation. Considering that it was only personal between HVT and Moraine, it's usually these sort of things are kept between only those two people because no one else is involved. But because Moraine is coming up for moderate, I think it's just fair, and just for the benefit of everyone, to know that this sort of thing happened. Yeah.
Yeah. As somebody who was not involved in this conflict, I don't even recall even hearing about this conflict until just now.
Yeah.
HVT, I perfectly respect his vote. He is allowed to vote against, but in my opinion, from what it sounds like, everyone has conflicts. It happens, and it seems like it's been sorted out for the most part. I could understand why it could still give Hut a sour taste in his mouth, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So, I am maintaining my vote.
Okay. Moraine, yeah, sorry, I've missed the one big part that she's clarifying right now. So Marianne says, it was a misunderstanding over what I thought was a Blue Rail blacklist, specifically blacklisting people. She'll provide some more details in a sec, but that is the allegation that was there. But I guess Moraine will provide some more clarity in a sec once she types it out. Again, I don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, AP.
No, you go ahead.
I just want to re-clarify. I don't expect anyone else to know about this because it was a personal thing between these two. Maybe it would have been that maybe I should have asked HVT to bring it up earlier as soon as Moraine got nominated. But as HVT said, he didn't seem very comfortable bringing it up himself. So I'm kind of doing this on his behalf because I was the one who mediated through that conflict between the both of them. So.
I think I'm with Vicky on this one. I'm not going to change my vote. Conflicts, absolute conflict avoidance is frankly a pipe dream. It's a kind of conflict resolution which is important. Like actually being able to, resolve things through. And it seems, although it took a bit of prompting from what was said, it seems that kind of things have improved a bit. Things resolved from there. So yeah, I'm still comfortable voting for Moraine this time around.
Okay. I'm just going to read some comments here. MBF said, I would hope that a potential moderator would ask about this kind of thing before jumping to conclusions, especially conclusions in which someone is assumed not to be operating in good faith. Nevertheless, I will not change my vote. I think the rest got cut off there. And Moraine has said, HVT showed that it was actually a blacklist, not for players, but for asking for stations which refuge specifically had been added to. And the blacklist lasted for 6 months.
I think I was going to say I do sort of agree with Vicky a bit more in this scenario. I think Moraine resolved the conflict, obviously with a bit of prompting. Obviously, I wasn't personally involved in it myself, at least it's not as much as you were from Paul. But I did sort of at least see it from a third party perspective, I suppose. I actually felt it's a pretty good example of how a conflict can be resolved. I think there's a lot of positives about Moraine which outshine this particular incident. And I also hope that any future conflicts, obviously Moraine would have the guidance of staff on their side to actually help them mediate future conflicts should they arise. And I'd trust that, given we talk about things in the staff chat, I trust that any future issues would actually be resolved fairly promptly, given through that facility as opposed to through them individually as well. So,
Okay.
I think that's enough for me to vote for in this instance.
Okay. Yeah. To be clear, I'm not expecting any of you to change your vote. I'm just letting you know that this happened, because whether or not that counts in your calculus of your vote, that's up to you. For me, I'm still going to keep my neutral vote because yes, while I'm going to be pretty fair, I'm pretty disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed in both of them. As I said with HVT, I wish he was more. I think there's fault with the lies with both of them. For HVT, I wish that he was more communicative. His communication skills are not very good. I will say that right away. So if he'd done that, then any of these sort of rumors or speculations would have been shut down earlier. On Moraine's part, yes, she did apologize in the end. That's a good thing. But I also wish that she didn't jump to conclusions in the first place, in the sense that, because, without any hard evidence or just basing it on what seems like their behavior, right? So, yeah. And just to say to Moraine, this character thing is embarrassing, but the whole point of this process of moderator is to ensure that we have all the information. Historically, we've had issues, like long time ago, he used to have issues where moderators would be promoted and people did not get the full story. They did not know all the different experiences that people may have had with that moderator. So that's why we have this sort of process where people are able to bring up things and in an open setting. And yeah, it's going to be embarrassing, but it's better that it comes out of the open now rather than later. Okay, so I don't know if anyone else wants to discuss any things. If anyone wants to change their vote, also that's also an option. But at least from some people, I think our votes are pretty set, unless I'm mistaken here. Yeah, the last call for comments here is basically what I'm saying. PTLD, what exactly do you mean by hand waving this allegation? Is it fair to say that we're ignoring it? Because we're not. It's just being discussed here.
Then sweeping it under the rug would probably be hand waving it. In this case, I think we've made, at least most of us, I think, have heard about the situation and made our judgments accordingly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Wow, transport is really bad at understanding my accent.
Yeah, I've explained my neutral vote. The others who have are still sticking with their 4 votes have explained, or at least the ones I've explained it have explained that, they acknowledge it, but they're not going to be changing their vote. So I'm not. I guess PTLD, are you asking if those people should be changing their vote?
I guess if it helps to clarify, the reason I'm not changing my vote is because I don't believe what happened in that incident is enough to inhibit Marine's ability to be a moderator. I don't think it was significant enough for me to weigh my decision there. So
Okay. PTLD, I'm going to ask you very specifically, what do you think else should be discussed here? Like, be specific. Like, if you want to bring up any topics, this is the time to do it. Any specifics about the situation, or if you need any clarification, we can try to give that as well. No, PTLD. I did not force anybody to do anything in the sense, like, I think I asked both of them to talk with each other, and they basically figured it out on their own. I think I wasn't there at the conversation, but my understanding is HVT showed evidence that he wasn't blacklisting specific people, and then Moraine realized that, oops, that the rumors or allegations were not true, and Moraine apologized. That's my understanding of what happened. How long ago? That was a few months ago, right? Moraine, can you confirm? One and a half months ago? Okay.
Okay, so like around end of July, start of August, basically.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't so far in the past, but I think it's recent enough for HVT to not feel comfortable personally voting, and that's understandable, I think. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, as an NBF said, it hasn't resurfaced. I consider the situation resolved. I think there's definitely lessons that both of them could learn from it. I guess the question here is, going off what PTLD is going off, like, is this enough to give concern to staff or the community that Moraine might not be a good candidate as a moderator? That's the question here. And it sounds like, basically because the votes aren't changing, at least from the, it doesn't sound like it's it sounds like it's not it's definitely it's worth noting, but it's not worth changing their vote. Oops. Jeez.
Now, in my opinion, granted this is just mine, I think it's I don't think it has enough bearing on me to switch my vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe at most like a lightly greeny yellow flag rather than any sort of red flag. But as DNA has said earlier, I think from everything I've seen of Moraine otherwise, I'm still very, very confident in her joining the moderation team.
Okay. Mrs. said, I personally think we're all going to counter conflict, but it's the willingness to productively try and resolve it that's most important. Oh, sorry, AP, did you want to continue?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Do we feel that the discussion is adequate at this point? And I'm asking both staff here and the community and PTLD, since he is the one who brought it up.
I think
do.
we've talked about everything, but I definitely want to hear what everyone else has to say first.
Again, I believe. Yeah, I think HVT voted no because he was personally involved with it. Like, it affected him directly. So, yeah.
I think it might be me that said it was positive, and I think that might to explain my reasoning there. So I think the way Moraine handled the situation, I actually viewed it as evidence of Moraine's ability to handle conflict. Just again, maybe that's just me personally, but that was how I interpreted that situation. So.
Yeah, to clarify the vote, HVT voted against. I voted neutral.
Yeah, I'm. What I said before, I don't necessarily agree with Avhut's vote, but well, let's face it. If we all agreed with each other's votes, we wouldn't need a vote.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm still confident in Moraine being mod.
Okay. Well, PTLD has said they're fine, so I'm going to take that as a signal to bring this discussion to a close. What's the vote right now? It looks like, yeah, 10 for, 1 neutral, 1 against. Based on that vote, that would mean a promotion for Moraine to moderator.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Okay. Let's go on to community issues. The first one we're going to talk about is DNA's proposal for new color rules on the wiki. DNA, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, sure. So, effectively, what I'm proposing, I don't know if anyone's had the time to read through the document, but effectively what I'm trying to propose is a way to, first of all, standardise colours across the wiki for certain things, so things like MRT line colours, things that generally constant, I suppose, that don't need to change. The bigger reason I proposed this was because if anyone had tried to use dark mode in the wiki before, I know HBT had spent quite a while trying to get it working previously, but effectively this change allows dark mode to work. It's a bit of a hidden setting. It's actually it's in the 2022 theme. You have to change it in your user settings to be able to access it. But effectively, I'm trying to lay out some rules which I like people to follow. I've purposefully divided the document up into various different subheadings. I believe some of the things to be discussed are very pedantic, so things like actually deciding which colours to use in certain places versus, should we actually implement the change as a whole? I think there's sort of different levels of discussion. I'd hope we'd be able to sort of, I guess, because this is obviously probably one of the first proper wiki changes we've had proposed, at least in a long while. So my hope is this is to be used to gauge what sort of things can be discussed at the GSM versus what can be maybe decided by the community at a later date. So that's effectively the premise of my proposal here.
Okay, so DNA, I did notice that there weren't any comments on the proposal in the Discord, at least, but
yeah,
based on, I don't know if have you talked with any of the so-called power users of the wiki, like HVT, Yoshi, Light, I think. Like, do they have any comments on this? Or like, what's the vibe of like, would they agree with these rules or disagree or what?
Yeah, so I've had a chance to sort of briefly speak to a few people. I spoke to Yoshi the most about it, and I thought that Yoshi would have a sort of more of a deep understanding about how this sort of thing worked. Unfortunately, I found out he actually didn't really know how CSS works, so mainly just the comments I got from him were mainly in relation to whether or not he thinks it's a good idea. I think from Yoshi specifically, he was very happy to have standardized colors for particularly for info boxes. Right now we use that. I don't know if I did mention it in there. I think it's like CCC or something like that, or CF, something like that. Is the color code we use. Effectively, it'd be very nice for us to be able to standardize that. Is what Yoshi was saying. I mentioned it to Katie, effectively just talking about intra color boxes. I actually did make a few minor alterations to one of their pages just to show what it would actually look like in practice. That was mainly to help with their dark mode compatibility. And Katie did say that they would be willing to create some dark mode compatible logos for some of their franchise pages. I believe obviously I have spoken to HVT about this very briefly, just obviously because HVT was the person who initially was trying to fix the dark mode on the wiki. I just sort of showed him the changes that I made and he seems happy with those. Effectively, a lot of the stuff I've done so far is just trying to get dark mode to actually work properly. A lot of these changes don't actually have any impact on how it looks in night mode, which is sort of the default mode we have on there. It only really affects dark mode for most of them. I think the only other changes where it would affect the light mode for this proposal would be with things like MRT line colors. If someone has used a color code which is the slightly wrong color red or the wrong color white for the Zephyr line or whatever, this proposal would give wiki editors the right to change that to a more standardized color. In terms of impact on everyday users of the wiki, so people's town pages, that kind of thing, it would give wiki editors the ability to change out at least what I would like to propose. It would give wiki editors the power users, I suppose, the ability to swap out the color codes that people have used in their wiki pages for these color variables in certain places. I don't think it would impact the way general editors would be editing. They're still more than welcome to use color codes. It just effectively sets out a precedent that if they do use color codes, we will probably change them. Again, just for dark mode compatibility reasons alone, really. I think the general feedback I've gotten about this is either people are in favour on principle, or they don't really fully understand how it works. I do understand it as obviously CSS is technically programming, so it's a bit harder to understand perhaps. But I would argue that this is an essential change for the wiki dark mode to function correctly, which is why I do think it is something that should be put forward as a proposal and hopefully approved at some point.
I have a suspicion, it's a hunch, that I think people may have read the proposal but don't really understand what exactly how it will work in practicality or in reality. So I have a feeling that maybe once these are implemented, then people might start seeing, oh, now this has to be this, or no, I can't do this anymore, that sort of thing. So you might start to see, comments or hopefully not, maybe to push. I don't know if there'd be pushback even once you see that sort of stuff. So maybe just be prepared that might happen. I had one. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to clarify. I probably should have put this in the proposal, but what I would like to do if this does get approved, is I would like to create as a baseline for like a wiki guidelines, and within that will have various sub pages. Is the idea for any future proposals. But I will probably be creating a list of like variables people can use throughout their wiki pages. So it should, in effect, the only difference people will notice is that they just have to replace the color codes with another line, which will be listed on the color guides. Just predefined things. You don't actually need to understand the CSS beneath it. You just have to basically look at the color you have on your page at the moment, go to that page, look for the equivalent in CSS and just replace it afterwards. So it should hopefully be quite easy for people to pick up and start using on their pages once it is implemented. But also do take what you're saying. Obviously, there might be issues that are unforeseen at the moment that people might not really understand fully. So I guess we might have to see how that goes to really fully identify those.
Yeah, and that segues into the question I was going to ask. Like, these rules and all those color codes, those are going to be, where are those going to be stored? It's going to be on the wiki itself, right? We don't need another section. Do we need another section on the website for these wiki rules, or is it just okay to just put them on the wiki somewhere?
I think that I did sort of touch on this. So that there's two aspects where we want to add or remove colors. The first thing is that we do have to actually add them to the wiki in a programmatic sense. Currently you have to have this, I think it's the style administrator permission or something like that. I would propose that we actually do give moderators that permission. I didn't have it as an administrator, I don't know if moderators do have it. But I would propose we allow moderators to have access to that so they can actually edit the under workings of the wiki to allow these colours to be implemented. And obviously, like I said, the second page would be on a player editable style guide. I think it would make sense to have it so that members can edit the guide if they want to. Again, there are people looking over that guide, so we'll be able to see any edits that were made and correct them if they are incorrect. I did sort of mention, so I'm not sure if this is fully relevant to your question, but something I would like to sort of work out is what we can actually allow to become a colour. There is sort of a limit to how many colours we can have. From a programmatic perspective, the more colours you add, it does slightly slow down the loading time by a minuscule amount. That is, I guess, a factor we might want to take into account. But the bigger thing is that in order to add a colour, we have to have some kind of staff intervention. And so I suppose the thing is we're going to have a system where people can propose to add colours, and by extension we then need to decide, obviously, what can be added as a colour versus what can't be. So obviously, do we allow franchises to have their own colours, or do we allow just anyone to add any colour they want to the wiki? There's sort of things like that which I guess maybe we have to just work out as time goes on to see what colours people might want, and I guess we maybe come up with those rules at a later date. But that is also something we would need to take into consideration there.
Yeah, that might like I think we can at least get all the official MRT line colors and like that sort of stuff. But when it comes to private companies, that sounds like it might be another just general proposal, perhaps.
Potentially, yeah. I think it's one of the things we might just have to sort of see if people actually want their own franchise colours. I think it would be wise for people like Katie, for example. They want to have like an intra grey colour, for example, where they can use it across all of their pages, and then it does allow them to make like changes to all of their pages simultaneously. It does have benefits for franchise owners. So yeah, it's something to take into account. The other thing to decide, and this probably would need to be decided now, is obviously I don't know if you can see on there. I've put an example for the dark mode variants of colours. So we'd ideally like to decide, obviously, a standardised colour for info boxes, so just the default ones. Right now it is like a pale blue kind of colour. We need to know whether we can have... We need a dark mode alternative, and there's a couple different ways we can implement a dark mode alternative. And I suppose we need a way, I guess, to decide what colour that alternative is going to be, if that makes sense. It's again, they're quite pedantic issues. I'm not really sure we want to discuss them at a GSM. I don't know if we want to maybe say, do we want to allow like a poll in the wiki channel to decide on those colours, or do we want to decide that now? I don't really know, to be honest, but I did write about that in there as well.
Yeah, I think I guess DNA and I will discuss this later, but let's figure out the technical changes needed to get, as you said, moderators to be able to add colors easily or make those sort of changes, and then we can figure out the rest afterward. So
so you want to discuss the technical things now, or
not? I don't think the meeting we can discuss it later, because I don't think people in the meeting want to listen to how to implement this in the wiki. It's not interesting. Trust me. it's
yeah,
terrible.
That's understandable. Yeah. That's probably what I'd expect anyway. So that's absolutely fine.
It's not interesting. It's also painful because the wiki software is kind of anyway. All right, so does anyone have any other opinions that they want to bring in about this proposal? Is it sound understandable to people? Because I know it is it's a very specific topic in the sense.
It's a sound proposal, frankly.
Yeah, I generally approve it. I do not get some of the specifics, but I approve y'all beginning to look into it and potentially talk about more specific changes in the wiki channel on Discord.
It does sound.
Sorry.
Go
ahead.
And like maybe you could like have like a link on the web, not necessarily describe all the wiki rules on the website, but say have a part on like the rules page or something like that. Is like, hey, the wiki has its own rules for editing pages. You could find the rules here, and then it's just a link to the relevant wiki page.
Actually, that's a good idea, Vicky. Yeah. Can we do that? Like,
sorry.
So what Vicky's saying is instead of dumping all the wiki rules on the website, the rules page on the website, we instead have a little section that says wiki rules. Click this link to go to wiki rules, and clicks actually into the wiki
yes,
page.
I don't know if I made this clear when I was saying it earlier. I did actually mean to have all of that be on the wiki. So the idea is obviously depending on how many rules we actually implement, we might end up with quite a substantial number of them. It would probably help. I don't know if any of you use Wikipedia at all, but the way Wikipedia do it is they have a rules page which gives sort of like a general summary. They have it's like a rules for dummies, I think, is the official title or something like that. But effectively, they give like a general overview of each rule, and you can click into some pages within them where they go into the actual specifics of those rules.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the way I'm planning to structure that is we'll have like a wiki rules page, which will give the most important things. Don't vandalize it, whatever, those sorts of things. And it'll have say we use a color formatting, and you click on that, you'll be able to find a list of the colors, and then below that you maybe have some explanation of why we've got the rules, and the exact specifics of where you can use different colors, that kind of thing. I think it would make sense to have it on the wiki, so I suppose is what I'm saying, just because we can divide it up into little chunks then, which would be much easier to digest for editors as well. I guess the other, sorry?
Can we have a link directly on the wiki homepage as well? Because just to really, my intent here is to make sure that these rules are communicated to the community so that people are aware of it. The worst case scenario I can see is we make these rules, but people new to the wiki especially aren't aware of them. So I just want to make sure that we're broadcasting that these are the rules, right?
Yeah, so I guess this kind of comes up under another subsection as well that I maybe want to touch on at a later date. We will definitely add an easy link to it on the homepage. We did also discuss with Yoshi briefly about potentially doing a minor revamp of the homepage on there, where we could have like an editor's hub and basically do the way that Wikipedia does, where they have an easy link to the rules page, that kind of thing. For now, we can definitely open just a basic rules page that will be easy to find for people, that might also want to be semi-involved with like a homepage overhaul in the future as well. So,
okay.
I guess also something else. I think it was Val that brought it up previously. I also want to sort of mention that the idea of these rules is that they're not going to be something, obviously with the way the traditional server rules work, is if you break them you get punished. The idea of a lot of these rules is more that if you break them you're not going to get punished, but it just gives editors the right to go into your wiki page and actually change it and be able to point to a rule that says that they have the permission to do that, I suppose. So the idea is it's not going to put any additional stress on members when they're editing. It shouldn't be a restriction for members, is what I'm saying. It just gives power users the right to overrule what they've written afterwards, I suppose.
It also wouldn't work for staff who have no idea, aren't really versed in the wiki, like myself.
As well, yeah.
Right. So.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go in if there's a conflict, you could look at the rules and work out what's the correct way to do something. I suppose it helps with that as well. I do think a lot of this is long overdue, just in terms of I do think we've had conflict now. We've had previous examples of conflicts, and there are a lot of, like I said before, there's a lot of, I guess, hidden rules that you can't really understand until you've actually been editing the wiki a lot and people have corrected you. I think it would just be nice to have those codified somewhere where it's not just down to opinion or how much someone edits the wiki to decide those. So
okay.
I like that MBF put a standard. I would say policy or norm for the wiki. Just these are the standards that we expect for wiki edits, and people. If you don't abide by them, people will correct them.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of phrasing it. We're not expecting regular members to edit in accordance with the rules, like fully in accordance with the rules. We're just expecting them to follow the general overview ones, and then we'll just come in and correct the rest of it afterwards, I suppose, is the way these are intended to work.
Okay, so I'm just going to respond to one of Yoshi's comments. So there is a rules page link on the sidebar of the wiki. However, that's in an old, I don't know what they call it, some sort of view of the wiki or some sort of template. But depending on your user preferences, some people have moved on to the more modern ones, and those ones don't have that link. They don't show the sidebar anymore. So in that case, I would recommend that is on the homepage itself. Adding the link to the rules page.
I think just as well to mention, I think the rules we currently have on the actual rules page for the wiki.
It's very outdated.
Those well, I mean, so the one on the actual website is what I'm referring to there. I don't know if I can actually find it on here.
The website or the wiki? Those are two different things.
The website.
The website doesn't have any wiki rules at all, as far as I know.
I might be misremembering this. I vaguely remember reading somewhere. You see, obviously, things like don't vandalize pages or something. Like that. Maybe that is just on the wiki that I'm thinking of there. Then
no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we never really had any wiki rules on. It's already long enough with Minecraft stuff, so.
Yeah, I suppose effectively the ones that are on the current wiki is just things like don't vandalize people's pages, that kind of thing. Those are what I mean by rules that people have to follow. We will punish you for not following those, so we can still have those, I suppose. But
yeah, don't replace the contents of a wiki page with the same slur 100 times. That sort of thing, because we will punish for that.
Yeah.
As opposed to not putting hex codes in.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think the way wikis work, or just media wikis as a whole, they're already built to allow things to be divided up easily. So I think just naturally we'll see the style guide, I suppose you could call it. It'll just by nature be divided into multiple subsections anyway. So I think that would be quite sort of self-explanatory to figure out when it comes to it. So I think I would also actually be in favour of keeping that open to edit by members as well, because I think just by the nature of the way the wiki works, we don't generally have many issues with people putting the wrong things on a page. So I think it would be quite helpful to give the ability for members to update the guidance pages, that kind of thing, because they can write their own guides for it, for example, if they wanted to. So also with the oversight of other wiki editors.
For those that are making eye emojis on the why my wiki looks differently from yours, it's in your user preferences. So you can change your skin to actually several different options. The one I'm using is the more modern vector skin. The vector legacy is the old one. You could also try some of the other ones. Some of them are pretty weird if you're really curious.
I did also mention to Yoshi, if we do these CSS color changes, we could add like a hot pink theme as well, like very easily. So that's always something to I guess hopefully bolster this proposal. So
Hannah Montana wiki, okay.
I literally quoted that to Yoshi when I brought that up. So
I'm sure Pi would be very pleased. Okay, it sounds like we were all learning some things about the wiki now, but just to be, I guess we should wrap it up. But yeah, Vicky's writing the summary, but to be clear, we're going to be adding, we're going to use that wiki, you guys are going to update that wiki rules page, and then we're going to add links from the main MRT rules page and also the main page on the wiki. And
I mean, just to check, would you guys be happy if I wrote up a basic guide for using colours on the wiki, just with some rules that I personally think would be beneficial? Would you be happy to maybe just double check that at a GSM, and then as I do that, just write it out my own accord? Then could we then sort of just discuss in the wiki channel about which colours we want to implement to start with?
Sorry, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking here. Are you asking us as staff, or would that be possibly better toward the wiki power users audience, perhaps?
Well, I suppose what I'm saying is would you be happy for the power users, I suppose, to I guess come up with these colours to start with? Obviously, we need to decide what to do with things like the navy blue colour for the dark mode. We need to make a decision about what we're going to do there. Are we happy for the wiki power users if that's what we're going to use to just discuss that in the wiki channel and come up with those on our own?
I would say
Yeah. Sorry. Personally, I do not want to talk about the specific hex code that y'all use for a dark blue on during a GSM. So, in my opinion, you're fine.
Okay.
In my opinion, I would be okay with you guys deciding on those, just make a decision on those colors and then show it at GSM. Maybe not even GSM. It could be just on have it somewhere where it's just explain what you are changing, why you made those decisions, and then there's at least transparency in oh yeah, these are the colors. That's why they are like that. I'm not sure if it needs a GSM, but there's something that it could be posted on the wiki channel or something that just explains it somehow.
I mean, I suppose would it be an idea if we just go ahead and write the rules for this, and implement those changes? Obviously, but by nature, these color codes, one of the benefits is that they can be changed really easily later.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys would be happy, for the wiki users to just go ahead and write that guide, and then maybe at the next year, we can have a skim of that guide and just make sure we're happy with what's in there and any colors we've added just to start with.
Yeah.
Which will probably just be MRT line colours, info box, standardised colours, that kind of thing. It should be very basic to start with. For us to just have a look at that over the next GSM, and then we'll see how it goes from there, I suppose.
Yeah, this key word there is a skim. We're not going to go into it too much, but I do want to give an opportunity. If there's any objection from people using the wiki, if they think it's something's not they don't like a certain decision that's made, that is a time to bring it up. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine to me. I mean, if we were approving the colour codes, as I say, it makes everything very easy to just change later, so it's nothing set in stone really with this. So, sorry, not the colour codes, the colour variables I meant to say. Getting confused myself there.
Yoshi's asking, if we wanted to make any other long guides, can we make them before and propose them at GSM after discussing? It sounds like colors is not going to be the first thing. There's other things, as Dina hinted, there's going to be other things. So yes, just follow. If you want to add more wiki rules or guidelines, write something up and then bring it up to GSM to see if there's any other further comments. Obviously, bring it up in the wiki channel, and all the power users will probably chime in. But I'm it also affects regular wiki users too. So. Okay. Does that sound good for everyone?
Okay.
Nope.
Mind if I just skim my summary just to make sure I got everything?
Go for it.
So I said approve. For the proposals approved. Discussion to implement a wiki-wide style guide, including the color rules specifically, will be discussed on the wiki page on Discord and reviewed at a future GSM. In addition, a page on specific wiki rules will be updated and expanded with a link given from the rules page of the main MRT website and the main page on the wiki. To be clear, in general, infractions of stylistic rules will not be penalized with a warning, but may be edited by other users. The infractions of more general / important server rules, e.g. racism, etc., will be given warnings.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, clarification about infractions of the stylistic rules, that'll be written on the page itself, right? The rules page, to make it very clear to people that you're not going to get an MRT warning, a full-on MRT warning if you make the color slightly wrong or something like that.
Yeah, I suppose maybe just say, obviously, if you keep editing it back afterwards after being told you're disobeying the style guide, then I guess we would probably issue warnings, but I think that would be case by case. I don't think it will happen very often, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's happened. Yeah. It has happened, but yeah, it's not very common. So
I suppose the style guide is official in the sense it will help us to enforce conflicts, but you're not going to get punished for not following it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I guess another situation is someone could disagree completely with the style guide, which
in which case
Yeah.
they should propose a change to the style guide. I'd argue they have to follow it until that change has been agreed upon at a GSM. Is what I would probably say is the best way to handle that. So I think we probably need a style guide to reach the point where we can make a decision about that itself. So
yeah. To be very clear, to be very clear protocol. We're not introducing wiki warnings. We're just saying that if there's something off from the style guide, it'll just give the main wiki editors permission to change that so that it is corrected. Okay.
I think it's a good way to summarize it.
All right. Any last comments here? Otherwise, we're going to move on from this topic. Okay, moving on. I think that's all good there. Moving on to 5B gas ports. This came up because as soon as we update to 121.8, someone did try to build a gas port, and as a stopgap decision, staff decided to ban the gas ports, or at least stop construction of any further ones until we've clarified what the rules are around them. I'm just going to add something right now. I didn't realize this when I proposed it. There's no official rules around electroports either. Just so you guys know.
I thought we did have them formalized.
I read through. I did a quick search through the Google Docs and the GSM results. There was one decision in 2017. I think Elite actually proposed this, where he wanted to legalize electroports, and then staff at that time said nope, and they said we're just going to ban electroports. So whatever decision we made since then, or some informal decision, I don't know where it is. I don't know what it is. It's not official. It's not in the official rules.
What are rules on airships again? Because at least my impression is that happy gas are functionally like airships.
Airships are weirdly shaped helicopters.
Treat them like helicopters?
Yeah, the rules say blimps, airships, and VTOLs are treated as helicopters.
I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Do you just want to treat them as helicopters? Granted, they won't be technically functional.
No, the issue, based on the discussion I saw on the topic, it sounded like people want to treat gas ports like electroports. But the problem is electroports don't have any official rules, at least from what I can see, any written rules around them. So I'm just a little confused here, like we're trying to base it on something that has no basis at the moment.
To be honest, electroports are probably both electroports and new gas ports are probably going to be very small and very niche, especially in comparison to other builds, other forms of transport, other so I suppose would not be opposed to just allowing them as is, allowing gas ports. We'd have to make sure it doesn't become a bit of a loophole for airfields in general.
So if we're going to allow gas ports, then I think by correlation, we should also probably have a rule that says we allow electroports, right? I don't remember the justification of why electroports were denied back then, but that was 8 years ago. So
yeah, maybe something that's as long as they don't have any warps, because neither Elytras nor Happy Gas have warps. So I think as long as you don't have like any warps associated with them, they'll be fine. Though they'll kind of be like decorational helicopter ports in a way.
Okay, so just to clarify with the lead here, you're saying electroports are legal. But based on how I'm reading the rules officially, just as written, there is no wording that says electroports are legal or illegal even. It doesn't say either, actually. The only thing I know of is that there is a 2017 GSM where staff decided to ban electroports. So this is what I'm like. What I'm saying here is, whatever we decide here, there should be something written somewhere that decides this. Informally, maybe electroports were legalized, but I don't know when that happened. I don't remember, and I don't know where we decided that. So.
I mean, can we just allow them within the current airport restrictions to say just keep them within airport rules and just say you can build an electroport in your airport if you want to, or just make your whole airport an electroport?
I mean, will people even do that?
I mean, probably not, but I mean, surely I don't really understand. So what's the difference between an electroport versus just a runway? I don't really. I suppose if people are building dedicated buildings for it, but
I think one vague reason I remember is Elytra way back when they were introduced, they caused lag because of I think partly from all the chunks they load very quickly. So I think that might have been one of the reasons why Elytra ports did that. For gas ports, we don't have that issue. I think it's just more leaving gas around like fast boys, which might be a problem. But that's kind of a separate thing.
I think people, if people want to put gas in their airports, they can do that. But I suppose if we're more asking about is there some kind of like dedicated building you can have for gas or something? Is that the question?
No.
A gassed garage.
So to be very clear, Frozen brought this up, and I understand where he's coming from. As soon as he heard that someone was building a gas port, he decided, okay, this sounds like a different kind of port. We should probably discuss this before it goes any further. So that's why he brought up. It turned into a GSM topic, which we're discussing now.
So, can I ask you, do we know where this gas port was going? Do we have like a screenshot of it at all?
That would be M-Fish's gas port. I have not seen it. I don't think the issue is size or anything like that. Like, I don't think we need rules around it. It's just more like, what do we do with it? Like, if we do allow it, then we don't really need rules. As far as I know, unless there's something that causes gas ports or electric ports to take up a lot of space or a lot of resources. But as far as I know, I haven't heard anything like that.
I mean, I'm at the gas port now, as it were. Just teleported to Fish's Town, and it just looks like a car park. It looks like a couple of parking spots.
I suppose surely we could start to wade into like the definition of what an airport is in this conversation as well. I mean, do we have I don't think we have an official airport definition, do we really? But
we do, but those are mainly about realistic planes using warps, which is a totally different thing.
I suppose is this even really a type of port? I don't know.
I think just, again, for clarity's sake, so we don't run into this sort of situation again, I would say on the rules page, let's add explicit wording. I'll probably just add another little section that says electroports and gas ports. Electroports and gas ports are allowed. Period. Like, that's it. Okay. So we don't get any confusion later on.
Monique said, if you put that in there, would someone then build an equivalent of an airport, something that looks functionally like an airport, but they just say it has gas instead of planes? I don't know.
Oh, then
we can.
Is that just case by case, or do we just say it's definitely an airport?
I think we apply the duck test to it, frankly. If it looks like an airport and smells like an airport, it's probably an airport.
Okay.
The thing is, I have a feeling it might not the thing is, if someone were to build that, oh, I'm trying to think of all the scenarios here, but if someone were to build that, it was just gas. They wouldn't be connected with the regular airport. So they wouldn't get any of the benefits there. However, I can see someone. This is really out there, but I can see someone doing this. They could build a elytra or gas port with that size, and then later on convert it into a warp. Which I don't know if it is sort of a circumvention there.
So they could build a building for an airport, which isn't an airport yet, and turn that into an airport later. I suppose it's a similar sort of thing, but I suppose with this you can make it look more like an airport. Yeah, I suppose because it's a port, but is this just? I don't know. Is this just an issue? Maybe we just say if it happens, we'll deal with it then. I don't know really.
It could also be we're just paranoid about all these possibilities.
Yeah.
It could happen. It is within the realm of possibility because we know some people love to push against the rules or make these sort of loopholes and sort of thing. But maybe it's not worth worrying about too much.
Maybe when it happens, we deal with it, and even then we just say if it happens again, we'll deal with it again. I suppose we just keep dealing with it case by case. I don't know. My only concern is that if we do say that elytra ports and the gas ports are explicitly allowed, I feel like we're sort of implying that there is like a type of structure which comes hand in hand with that. I mean, in reality, they could look like literally anything, I suppose. So maybe it's better not to set the precedent that there is a thing that could be counted as a gas port, and we just sort of say you can use gas and elytras, so that's fine, and leave it at that maybe.
Mm-hmm.
This plaza in front of the market is now a gas port because I put some fences around it.
Oh, wow, well done. Banned.
Okay. I think we've come to a decision. I think we will allow them and put them explicitly written on the rules page, so there's no more confusion. At least no confusion around that in the future.
I suppose what I'm saying is on the rules page, that instead of saying ports, do we just say you can use gas and elytra? I don't know. I sort of worry that if you say ports, it sort of sets a precedent. There is such thing as a gas port, and there isn't really a thing for it.
Facilities for taking off and landing gas and elytra.
Which is, by definition, a port. So, I mean...
So I suppose I'm saying, are people going to then build, 50 gates for their gas, and then they say, oh, well, it's allowed in the rules? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if is it better to sort of leave it ambiguous, and then they can ask a staff member if they're confused?
I don't know. It's hard to say. We're kind of speculating on future things. We don't know if someone would try to build that. So I think we need to just deal with it when it comes.
Okay.
I think we can just say now, please don't do that.
Yeah. I hope
Please don't make it obviously large like an airport. Obviously, we word it a bit more professionally than that, but do we just put something like that in the course? And if someone is confused, then they can just ask a staff member.
I hope the community understands why we're being so paranoid, because we don't want to deal with this sort of thing, ideally, but yeah.
I suppose maybe I don't know if we can word it to sort of say you can build a gas or an elytra port, as long as it's not similar to an airport or something like that, and any queries ask a staff member.
I think we're overthinking this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's our decision. 5B
They're
is done.
allowed. This will be clarified on the rules page.
Yep.
There you go.
Please interpret the rule in a kind way and don't abuse the rule. Thank you.
Just hire a lawyer.
Okay. All right. So that's the community issues. There's one remaining, actually, kind of two, because Foot wants to announce something. But there's an IAT from Elite for. It's an unusual IAT, and I don't think the reason this IAT is here because it did not get enough votes in the proposals channel in the 2-week period. So any topic that's over the 2 weeks just gets automatically deferred here. So that's why it's here. It's an unusual IAT because it's about an asset that the ownership is not clear. I think there was some discussion in the channel, but. No one really knows who owns this plane in the first place. So Elite just wants ownership of it.
I don't know about this because it's not like a franchise with like specific locations or anything. It's just like a single plain template. It's like, why not just make your own own plane based off the Boeing 747?
Is that a question directed at Elite? Because Elite could answer that. Oh.
I don't know. That's just like kind of a rhetorical question.
Elite's answer is, it's just what I do. I mean, I think it's a fair question, Elite, though. Like, why do you want this specific plane design?
And also, maybe it's in the channel, actually see the design of the plane.
I think it is in the channel. There might have been a screenshot, I hope. But Elite, yeah, you want to speak? Hold on. I mean, you're going to come up here for a trustee goddamn meeting, in a second anyway, so.
Yes, thank you. I recognize that this is rather odd. The reason why I want this plan in particular is that, number one, I find it quite difficult to actually do a relatively accurate 747, and that this design, although very outdated, is pretty accurate, especially for the time. Number two, it's a design that is very sentimental to me. This was the 747 used by Kalis and Illa Airlines back in the old days, the old Skytrans days. As many of you know, I'm a ranked sentimentalist when it comes to this sort of thing. Number three, this is what I do. I take these old aircraft that were used, and then I, sort of as a nostalgia thing, the old Cessna Citation 5, which was used by Kalis and Air and whatnot. I took the design. I got that out of GSM, and I shrunk the wings down a little bit so it could be used at modern airports. Now it's being used by Southwest and Utopia Air. So this is what I do.
Okay, so you're wanting to effectively slightly revamp and modernize the old 747.
Yes. No, I'd like to. I've always thought it was a meter too high, so I'm going to chop a meter off the off the wheels. I'm going to update the materials, maybe put some slabs in there. It's going to be a relatively straightforward job. I figured that it would be simply easier for everybody involved, which is really, I guess, just myself, to simply take the old Skytrans 747 and give it some love, as opposed to come up with a new one, because it's really quite difficult.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
No
it
objections.
is a small thing anyway.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So, just to be clear, Lee, just based on the discussion I'm rereading here, you weren't able to determine the original owner of this design, correct?
No, by the best
Nope, I think you cut off.
by the best indications, it was Sinra, but we're still not entirely sure. But Sinra has consented. Jasper Binho, Robin has consented, and they have a claim towards it. The Kalos guys, well, they're just unreachable.
Yeah, have you tried talking to Solars? I think Solars is the only remaining Kalis person.
The specific the specific provenance is Tech and SME, and that's because on the signs at the Sky Transit Lab at 1000 in the old world, it says the design, and it doesn't clarify whether or not the design is specifically the livery or the design of the aircraft is Tech and SME.
Okay, I think we as staff could approve this IAT, but I would maybe as a precaution just talk to Solars or let Solars know, because based on what I'm seeing in the discussion, all of Tech's, basically all the assets went to Solars, any Kalis related stuff. So I'm just wondering if this could be included in there or not. But
to be entirely frank, I'd prefer if we could just get this over with now. But if that's the will of staff, then I'll talk to Saul.
I'm just more concerned that if we approve this IT and then Solars throws a concern later on, I just feel like maybe it's worth just letting Solars know. Did you get what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to hint at here? Like,
All right, well, yeah, I'll DM it, and then I'll put the proposal in again.
no, well, we could approve it now. I'm just asking if you could just give Solars a heads up about it.
Oh, suggest a message.
Just let Solars know that this has happened, just so they are aware that if there is a clarification that needs to be happen after, then we can deal with it then. But yeah, it's very possible Solars won't. They might just say, "I don't know where this plane came from," so whatever. So I think that's most likely what will happen, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm happy to provisionally vote approval.
Okay.
Vote to provisionally approve. There we go.
Yeah.
I have sent a message saying, "Hi, Saul. I have IAT'd the Skytrans 747. Staff wanted you to know."
And Solars will probably respond, "What?" Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna conditionally approve that then. So consider that IT approved. I guess there'll have to be a notification on that because I don't know how to say
Okay,
it.
my specific wording is conditionally approved based on the approval of Solars.
Yeah, we'll just double check with Solars. Like, I don't think Solars. 90% of me would think that Solars won't object, but just in case, there's something we're missing here. Yeah. Okay, so there is a hidden 6B topic, and I think that's Foot. Foot, you said that you wanted to announce the conductor tower results finally, after all this time. So would you like to announce said results? Oh, do you not have the results ready?
No, they're ready. I just haven't actually done the add function in the sheet yet. So I don't know who's won yet either.
That sounds like the definition of not ready, but
They could be ready in I'm just gonna go in them in order.
I'm sorry, if I may cut in, Solars has given his total approval, so I'll send a screenshot over.
okay, cool, thanks.
Okay, there you go.
All resolved.
So King Snake's tower has 159 points. Harrow's tower has hold on, that's not 165 points. Crepper's tower has 221 points, and Radiant's tower has 202 points, which means that Crepper's tower is the winner.
Yeah, you well done.
Yes. So when can we expect to see it pasted in?
And within the next week or two, once I actually am sure I have a functional internet connection.
All right, congratulations to Crepper.
Congratulations.
Finally filling in that section of that Central City plot. I assume conductors can start moving in right after pacing, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once I just make sure it's all pasted properly.
Mhm.
So.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. I think that's all the actual topics that we have for the meeting. Elite.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to turn off my serious face and I'm going to turn on my deadpan face. The MRT Chamber of Trustees meeting notes for the 13th September 2025 as convened at the Great Meeting Hall in Central City. We begin with nominations. We begin with a special note. The speaker notes the distribution of free Colt AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle-based crossbows. So all persons who attended the meeting, they are entitled to have some Colt AR-15s. Number one of nominations, a bottle of sriracha sauce for a trustee carries 3-1. Number two, the year 2016 Anno Domini / Common Era for trustee carries 4-0. Number 3, an oddly shaped bag of turnips for trustee carries 3-2. Number 4, Sabrina Carpenter's new album for trustee carries 5-0. Number 5, Queen 1 Collector's Edition for trustee carries 4-0. Number 6, the specific Colt AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle-based crossbow owned by the King of Spain for trustee carries 5-0. Number 7, the crumpled scarf displaying the flag and/or branding of the Republic of San Marino, which is sitting on Rainbow Slime's desk for trustee, half 4-0. FL Studio for trustee carries 4-1. Adobe for band carries 4-0. Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo 3DS registered family of systems carries 3-0. The floor, which is interpreted to mean the physical flooring surface of this meeting hall for trustee, carries 5-1. His Excellency the Right Honorable Elite Neon, Speaker of the MRT Chamber of Trustees for trustee, carries 3-2. I almost lost the vote, no confidence. Number 13, One Day Blinding Stew for trustee, tied at 2-2. Speaker votes Bryce Underwood. In general business, number 14, motion to declare the THX noise the new MRT national anthem, that carried 6-0. Number 15, a motion to instruct the person using all the techie fireworks to stop, carried 2-0. Number 16, spleen, lowercase s, carries 2-1. Number 17, motion to open the table for snacks and other refreshments, passed 2-0 to 1. Number 18, motion to vote yes for a psychic midget on the run, i.e. a small medium at large, carries. Oh, I just got that. 3.5 to 1. Number 19, motion to turn Power Miner 01 into a horse, fails 2.5 to 3. Number 20, motion to extend voting length by 1 meter, carries 3.5 to 0. Motion to expand the voting period to 6.5 kilograms, give or take, carries 3-0. Motion to adjourn carries 2-0. Invocation, I, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Elite Neon, Speaker of the MRT Chamber of Trustees and head of the one true and holy MRT government, Grand Marshal and Holy Sovereign, the Grand Marshal of the Holy and Sovereign Order of the Big Board, purveyor of firearms in the military/non-profit industrial complex, do hereby declare this document to be the manifestly undemocratic will of the MRT Chamber of Trustees, its Speaker, and the MRT Senate by the assent of its only member, who therefore can be reasonably described as I am the Senate. May Iris the Eagle bring his most stringent condemnation on the Metropolitan Council once more for the murder of the North Star Commuter Rail, and towards the Pennsylvania State Senate for their hunnished and barbaric hostage-taking of SEPTA, and may he continue to shed his most omnipotent and beautiful many such cases on this hallowed institution and the people of the MRT. Lindsay Ellis did nothing wrong.
Very cool.
I'm going to ask a serious question for the people that are still in the GSM, because I noticed people were leaving as the trustee meeting was going on. Do you guys actually want the trustee meeting to continue being aired out at the GSM?
I don't care.
Some people are saying yes, so that's okay.
It's punctuation at the end of at the end of all the seriousness. That did go on for a while, though.
Okay, people seem to like it.
To be entirely
so...
frank,
What?
To be entirely frank, we did have 20 pages last time. This is only 10.
Right, to the Boarbic Library with ye.
Totally.
Okay. Anyway, this is the last part of the meeting. This is the Q&A portion. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything in the meeting or any other topic, this is the time to do it. Last call for anything before we bring this meeting to a close. I'm hearing the sound of silence. If someone is typing right now, you better just push your enter key just so you get my attention. Otherwise, I'm going to end this meeting now. Okay, I'm not hearing anything. All right. This is that's a wrap for this meeting. Thanks everyone for attending. Goodbye.